Well, it's sometimes referred to as the greatest Jewish treasure of the World War II era. A collection of documents, testimonies, photos, letters and diaries that were hidden by Jewish scholars in the Warsaw Ghetto and known as the Ringelblum Archive. Well, now for the first time, the collection has gone on permanent display in Warsaw's Jewish Historical Institute. Our culture correspondent Maya Margit has the story.
Priceless testimony of a tragic chapter in Polish Jewish history. Nearly 80 years ago, a group of Jewish scholars living in the Warsaw Ghetto collected and hid a precious trove of documents. Codename Oneg Shabbat, also known as the Ringelblum Archive. Now, for the first time, the collection is on permanent display at the Polish capital's Jewish Historical Institute. The exhibition is called What We Were Unable to Shout Out to the World.
These are the daily journals, postcards, the written testimonies of these people. This is the greatest Jewish treasure of the war era, the treasure that shows death approaching. It conveys the testimonies of people destined to die within a few weeks, months, or hours.
Drawings, photographs, letters, and testimonies. 6,000 documents in all, describing life in the Warsaw Ghetto. The collection began with Jewish historian Emanuel Ringelblum. He led a team of historians, rabbis, and social workers. Their goal? To chronicle the horrors of the ghetto in Nazi-occupied Poland. The Warsaw Ghetto was the largest of its kind during the Second World War. The Germans imprisoned 480,000 Jews in a 1.3 square mile area. On average, more than 7 people shared a room. The Ringelblum Archive bears witness to many important moments there, like this photo showing a starving child, or this one showing food being smuggled inside. Initially, Ringelblum and his group hoped to put together a book with all the materials they collected, but they soon realized the ghetto would be purged, and most would die of starvation, disease, or be sent to the Treblinka extermination camp. So they decided to hide the archives.
They buried it all in metal crates or milk jugs in cellars in the Warsaw Ghetto, and it really is a miracle that it was found after the war. The first part in 1946 and the second in 1950.
A moment in history preserved and not soon forgotten. Maya Margit, i24NEWS.
Well, our culture correspondent Maya Margit joins us in the studio. Maya, the devastation in Warsaw was so complete after World War II. How were these documents recovered and found?
Well, it's an interesting story. The thing is, they didn't find everything. There were several caches of documents and testimony that were hidden. Basically, what happened is that Ringelblum, when he saw that the ghetto was being liquidated, he started hiding everything in canisters and milk cans and metal boxes in different areas scattered throughout the ghetto, 3 different locations to be specific, and they found 2 of those locations. The third one, which is supposed to be the largest collection of the archive, has still not been found. Nobody knows where it is. They dug underneath the Chinese embassy in Warsaw and they weren't able to find it, but that's where they believe it's hidden. But what happened is that 3 people survived from this group that Ringelblum put together of scholars and historians. Only 3 survived, not Ringelblum. He was executed with his family, but the 3 who survived knew exactly where things were buried, and they could direct everyone after the war to go and find them.
And why is it on display? I mean, the Jewish community in Poland was basically wiped out. There's a small remnant there. So why are these precious Jewish documents now being putting on display and found a permanent home there in Poland, and not, say, for example, in Yad Vashem here in Israel?
Yeah, it's a good question. Basically, they're on display in Warsaw's Jewish Historical Institute, and it's a very symbolic location because before the war, it was home to the synagogue and the largest Jewish library, but both were destroyed. And then after the creation of the ghetto, this is where there was a Jewish self-help group, a social group, an organization that was authorized by the Nazis. Emanuel Ringelblum, the guy who started the archive, actually worked there. And to this day, this is where all of his documents and all the testimonies are being studied and looked at.
All right, Maya Margit, thanks very much for bringing us that.